For those of you that don't know, I'm Maggie, and I cannot believe that this is the last video that I'm gonna post in 2020. We made it to the end of this crazy year, and while I know 2020 honestly does not rank at the top of the charts for a lot of people, for us, we went through so many big life changes that this will forever be a very memorable year because I got married during this year, we adopted our little puppy Nash who's sleeping back there, and we purchased our first home, and that happened all within like 6 months of each other. Because of all these big life changes, it came with a lot of investments and a lot of purchases in 2020. So I figured I'd sit down and outline our very favorite purchases that we made this year. Because we were outfitting a home, I just want to warn you that a lot of these things are investments, but when I look back on all of the things that we had to purchase, I feel like Brian and I did a really good job of thoughtfully buying things and making sure that they would serve multiple uses or be well loved. So even though the initial outlay of money was kind of a lot, there are things that we can use for years and years and years to come, which means that it was a good investment. So these honestly are in no particular order because I love them all equally for very different reasons. The first one is actually, I was talking all about very expensive things, and these are probably on the more affordable side of things in this list, but these are stasher bags. We're really trying to do our best to eliminate as much waste as we can, and very simple things like this make it super easy. So what these are just reusable Ziploc bags. These are made with this really high quality, thick silicone that make them so easy to care for and so easy to use. So I've tried several knockoff brands of these like silicone bags, and honestly, these are just the best. I tried a bunch of different ones from Amazon and they never seem to seal or close as easily. But then the other cool thing about these is that these are completely dishwasher safe, which a lot of the like knockoff versions aren't. These can go in the oven, these can go in the microwave because this silicone has a very high tolerance for high temperatures. And these have a million uses. I mean, anytime you would use a Ziploc bag, you can use these stasher bags. And while they are an investment up front, yes, you can rest assured that you're not like throwing away tons of plastic and using these like single-use plastic bags all the time if you have something like this instead. Okay, so when I was brainstorming ideas, this vacuum hit the very top of the list. It was the first thing that I wrote down because I legitimately use this vacuum every single day. So this is the Dyson Animal V8. Now there are some more recent models. I think the V10 is the most up-to-date model that they have right now. However, this one was a little bit less expensive and definitely met all of our needs. This one right now specifically has kind of the dusting vacuuming attachment on it, but this comes with several attachments. This is just one. In fact, this is our everything vacuum. The thing that I love most about this is that it's cordless. So as soon as I see like leaves or something on the ground, I just go pick this up, vacuum up what I need with the like extended, you know, floor vacuuming attachment on it. I don't have to search for a plug. It's not a hassle for me to unwind it and wind it back again. I feel like I can do quick little jobs and keep our house on the whole just a lot cleaner because they've made this so easy. The battery life on this is really impressive. I think that I could probably vacuum our entire house 3 to 4 times without having to charge this. And since I'm typically vacuuming just small sections at a time randomly as they annoy me, this thing seems to last forever. It's so small, it's very easy to handle, it's not super heavy, and while this does retail for $399, which is like for a vacuum, totally worth it. Like we would make the exact same decision again and again and again. So you'll notice a lot of these things are home related just because that is what occupied a majority of our thoughts and purchases and everything this year. And one of those really very home specific items was a SimpliSafe security system. Now we live in a pretty safe area, but I just feel like you can never be too cautious. And so this was a very affordable, very easy to install security system, and we kind of figured why not? It just adds really nice peace of mind when you're going out of town for extended periods of time or when we're leaving Nash at home by himself, because this is all integrated and connected with an app on our phones, and we have like a dispatch at the ready if anything were to happen, which is really nice. Now you don't necessarily have to pay for that monitoring. That is a monthly fee. Now we have their bunker security system, but they have a ton of different packages to suit your needs. And if you can't find a package that has, you know, exactly the right amount of window sensors that you want, you can just buy individual pieces, which is really nice. We were really trying to decide between Ring and SimpliSafe, and we ended up going with SimpliSafe just because they have so many more options for bigger spaces. But again, do your own independent research. That's just kind of how we ended up making our final decision. And since we're already in the bedroom, I figured we should go ahead and talk about our bedding. We invested, like really invested in nice bedding this year, but we do not regret spending a single cent on it. Now that we do have very very high quality, comfortable bedding, it really makes all the difference. So we chose Brooklinen as the bedding that we got, and we got the classic move-in bundle, which just made things really easy because it came with a duvet cover, the comforter insert, a fitted sheet, a top sheet, 2 pillows, and 2 pillowcases to go with it. So it basically outfits your entire bed. We didn't really have to put much thought into it. But within each bundle, you can get one to fit your bed size, of course, and you can do a bunch of different add-ons from there. And it has really held up. It's a very no frills kind of sheet set, but it's ultra comfortable. They described their sheets as cool and crisp, which I was like, what on earth do crispy sheets feel like? I didn't really understand that, but just know that they're not like super duper soft, but they're also not really stiff and starchy. They're somewhere in between. They also say that these are Puricle sheets that feature a breathable 270 thread count weave for that timeless hotel style luxury. Perfect for hot sleepers, these sheets will help you stay cool all night long, and they also get softer every single time that you wash them. Really can't say enough good things. Don't balk at the price tag. Know that it is a true investment, but it is totally worth it. If you've been following me for a little bit, then this next item is gonna come as no surprise to you because it's a pair of NISOLO boots. Now, I have talked about this brand a million different times just because I believe in what they stand for, what they're doing. I feel like they're manufacturing things really ethically and they've figured out how to offset a lot of carbon emissions with what they've done. But beyond their environmental and social impact, their products are just downright good. This is a pair of boots that I got for Christmas, so I know this is a very recent find to be added into like favorite purchases of 2020, but man, oh man, these shoes do everything. I made a decision a couple of years ago to stop buying super cheap shoes that I feel like I get one season's wear out of and then I have to throw them away. It was wasteful, it was a waste of money, and I just wasn't wearing high quality shoes. They weren't always all that comfortable. My decision was to have a lot fewer shoes, but make them super versatile and high quality and make them last from year to year to year. Every pair of shoes that I have from NISOLO fits that bill. So this is the Carmen Chelsea boot. And the reason that I love these so much is because these are weatherproof shoes, which makes them super duper practical, especially in the winter. And especially if you live in a place that snows or something like that very frequently. They have awesome tread on the bottom, so they're not super slick. It comes in a variety of colors. My only hang up with these is that they're really hard to get on and off. The inside is so cushiony, it is so comfortable, they fit like a glove. I always go up a half size in their shoes, just FYI, in case you were curious about how they fit. Again, these are an investment, but the day that I'm filming this, they actually have a 20% off sale going on right now, so you probably can get these at a discount, but I love these. Seriously, so high quality, so comfortable, 0 break-in period required, and it's an all-weather shoe, so I just feel like you really can't go wrong. So if you haven't tried a pair of NISOLO shoes and you're looking for something really basic to start, this is it. The Carmen Chelsea boot. Next up, something I can't physically hold and show you, but one thing that has been a lifesaver this year with the pandemic is our Peloton. Now, I know, you've probably heard 18 million people talk about this. I feel like everyone I know has bought a Peloton this year, but honestly for good reason. So through my employer, I got a refurbished bike at a very steep discount. So that did influence my decision to get it a lot. I will just be entirely transparent. So I did not buy it at full price. I'm looking over here because it's sitting right here. It's in our bedroom. It keeps me motivated. I was so sad when the pandemic hit that I had to give up going to the gym. I loved spin classes so much. Like that was my primary way to work out. That's something that's so good for my mental health and well-being just because I'm a much nicer person when I exercise. I just felt like it was a really good decision financially and mentally and physically to buy this bike. And truth be told, while it is a big investment, it's saving us a ton of money in the long term because I was paying $200 per month for my gym membership before I got this. You have the upfront cost of buying the actual equipment, yes. However, just to put things into perspective, the entire bike full price cost about the same as 1 year's worth of the gym membership at my old gym. So after 1 year of having the bike, it would basically pay for itself. Now, you do have a monthly fee in order to use all the services on it, but your gym fees are only like $42 per month. And we both get memberships here for $42 per month total, because every single person in your household can have a profile and you only pay for one account. It makes working out so accessible, it's so easy, and it keeps it interesting because they have so many different things for you to try. They have running and meditation and yoga and stretching and strength training and boot camps and cycling, and they even have a treadmill if that's what you're into. There's just so much that they offer, so you're getting so much bang for your buck, and the instructors are incredible. If maybe the piece of equipment is out of your price range, do not go into debt buying exercise equipment. It is totally not worth it. But you can still have access to the super high quality instructors and classes for a really low monthly fee, in my opinion, compared to a ton of gym memberships out there. So your workout is truly the exact timing of your workout. So if you do a 45-minute ride, it is legitimately 45 minutes. Because you're not commuting to and from the gym. You don't have to get there early. You don't have to find parking. You're saving on gas money. You're saving on time. So I'm very, very thankful that we have the Peloton. All right, moving back to a lower cost item, our houseplants. They have been such a fun, welcomed addition to our home as we try to make this place a little bit more cozy, to make it feel lived in and just warm and welcoming. Now, to be honest, I don't have a green thumb. Brian is much better at plants than I am. We go for very easy to care for plants that you have to water like once a week to once every 2 weeks, depending on the type of plant that it is. So if you're like me and you don't know much about plants, or you feel like you can't keep things alive, go for something like a pothos. They grow down and they hang, and they just add a lot of like organic texture to your space, and they add a lot of good green color. They're so easy to take care of. They bounce back like crazy if you forget to water them. Legitimately a great beginner plant. We've just been really enjoying taking care of the houseplants and love what they add to the space. So if you're looking for a way to spruce up your home with something that's living and kind of gives you an activity or something to learn about or something to take care of, we think that houseplants have been one of the best purchases that we've made this year. All right, the next item on the list is super strange. You'll probably be surprised that this made our top purchases of the year, but it's a coat rack, just a very simple wall hanging coat rack. So when we moved into the house, decorating it and getting it all warm and cozy was definitely top of mind, but I really struggled with our entryway because it's really skinny. Truthfully, there's not really a lot of room for any sort of entryway table, so I had to get creative with making that space functional with how skinny it is. So what we decided to do to fill that space in a very functional way was to put a coat rack on the wall. So we got this one from Magnolia. It's called the Shaker Peg Wall Coat Rack, and it's their large size, in case you were curious. I'll have everything that I'm mentioning linked down below in case you're interested. But this one was a pretty decent price. It's just made of solid wood, and we have a lot of just like natural looking elements in our house. So it worked really well with our decor. It doesn't stick out too far to where it's like obstructing the entryway, and it was just the perfect answer. And it's been great, especially in the winter as we have big coats that we're taking on and off to take Nash on walks. We keep his leash over there. It's just become a very intentional, functional space that helps the home feel really lived in and just established. I don't know how to describe it. All right, last sort of home decorating thing before we move into some of my kitchen favorites are big pictures from FrameBridge. I have talked about FrameBridge several times before. I know most recently in one of the gift guides that I did, but I really love using that company. I don't know how to describe it. I just feel like for me, sometimes finding frames, especially in a specific size that you want, is really hard to do for a decent price. And FrameBridge makes custom framing really affordable. So we have this really big print of one of our trips from Croatia. Our friend Ashley took it. It is like one of my very favorite things in our whole house because it's an experience from a wonderful trip. It's the trip where we got engaged. It was kind of like my color inspiration for our living room. And while it is an investment, it's something that legitimately makes the space. I absolutely adore it. I love it. And I think that they did such a good job with the framing. Now you can frame anything. You could send in bandanas. You could send in art prints that you bought. The past, I don't know, 3 or 4 times that we've used that service have uploaded digital files. So you just send them a really high quality digital image and they blow it up and print it for you. And it takes no time at all. It's always packed really nicely, so there's no risk of it breaking or anything in shipping. All of my experiences have been wonderful with that company. So since 2020 was the year for everybody working at home, it took me several months and Brian begging me to just invest in it that I finally got an at-home desk. I worked at the kitchen table for more months than I'm proud to say. I ended up going with a standing desk that has like automatic programming, which is great for so many reasons. So one, a standing desk just overall is healthier. Like studies show that the amount of time that we sit down in our desk jobs just isn't the best for us in the long term. So it keeps me healthy by standing up every now and again and having those like programmable settings to make the change really easy. I specifically got one from the brand Fully, and I have all of my customizations that I chose for my specific desk listed in the description box for you. I wanted a really long desk with a lot of space because it is in our living room, and I wanted it to blend into these two big pieces of furniture that we have, and so I had a very specific style in mind. So I got a maple top to kind of match the color of our wood floors, and I got white legs to match the furniture that it's next to. So while I did pay a little bit extra to get the bigger actual desktop, I also paid a little bit more to get the extendable range, mostly because I'm super short, and so even the lowest setting on their standard desk wasn't low enough for what I needed to comfortably and ergonomically sit at my desk, I guess. So while it took me forever to take the plunge, I'm very, very glad that I did, because it really has improved just my comfortability with working from home, but it also has really given me a defined space to have my working time. So now I'm not in the kitchen all day long, sitting at the kitchen table, then cooking dinner, then cleaning up. Now I have some separation because the desk is in a different room of our house. Okay, the last two items are both kitchen related, and one I'll cover first and quickly, and that's our Dutch oven. I've talked this thing to death. I know most of you watching this video might even have a Dutch oven and you're like, duh, that thing's great. It has seriously been the biggest surprise of this year. We did get it as a wedding gift, and it is our most used pot in the kitchen. It has replaced the need to have so many different pots and pans because this pot seriously is so multi-purpose. I love that you can cook on the stove and then transfer it to the oven if you need to. It's so easy to clean and care for. It's non-stick, it's high quality. We're gonna have it for forever. I'm so thankful to have such a versatile cooking tool so that we don't have to take up tons of space with a million different sizes of pots and pans. We're just getting more use out of it. It's less clutter in our kitchen, and we already don't have a ton of kitchen storage, so I love that it can be used for multiple things. Very similarly, the last item that I'm going to mention is another kind of newer item to us this year. It is the Always pan. Yes, you've seen this advertised on Instagram like a million different times, but it's totally worth the hype. They say that it's supposed to replace 8 different cooking tools in your kitchen. I'm gonna read it to you. The Do-It-All Wonder is designed to replace 8 traditional pieces of cookware. Plus it looks pretty good too. It does. We have the color Smoke, which is actually more of a beige color. So it says that it is supposed to replace your fry pan, saute pan, steamer, skillet, saucepan, non-stick pan, spatula, and spoon rest. I'm kind of like on the spatula and spoon rest. It does come with one specific, they say it's a spatula, but it's more like a wooden spoon that has a flat bottom, and then it has a hole, and it sits directly onto this little raised piece that's on the handle of the pan. So they say that's a spoon rest, but quite honestly, I don't like to use wooden utensils all the time, so it doesn't really replace that for me. But that's okay because the actual pan itself is wonderful. It is extremely non-stick, and I love that the sides are tall because it really allows you to make those one-pot meals without having to use any overflow dishes or anything like that. It's so easy to wash. Brian comments on that every single time that he does the dishes. He's like, I love washing this thing because everything basically just slides off of it. You can use soap and water on it. There's no like super hard care instructions. Another thing that I like about it is that it doesn't have a lot of the harmful chemicals that typically come in non-stick pans. So be aware of that too. It's a little bit of a cleaner option if you are somebody that is loyal to non-stick like we are. Okay, that is a wrap on all of our favorite purchases of 2020. I'm sure there are so many more. These are just the ones that really stand out for the stage of life that we're in. I just did an entire roundup of my favorite kitchen things that we have. So if you're curious about more kitchen related items, I'll be sure to have that video linked in the description box below. And if you like this video, then like it. Stick around, subscribe, join the community, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.